Hello everyone, I'm Derek with the PNY Professional Team. We're at Siggraph 2023, and I have Rick from NVIDIA with me. Thank you for taking the time out to talk with us about some interesting things that came up here at Siggraph.
My pleasure.
I guess to start off is with the keynote, a lot of focus on cloud, AI, inferencing. Where do you kind of, see that going within NVIDIA, since that seemed to be a big topic at Jensen Huang?
Yeah. We're getting a pretty big push. You've heard for the AI, from generative AI to large language models, image generation, but then also all the other tasks that are happening out there, from just kind of machine learning and general data science in general. We're powering all of it, but we're also looking at how can we be kind of better stewards going forward, looking at more power efficient systems that can give you the same performance and less power. And one of the big things we've been talking about is our whole Grace and Grace Hopper architectures, moving to an ARM-based CPU and marrying that so that we have that unified memory between CPU and GPU to really enable high-speed throughput and a lot of power for training and inference performance.
The L40S was announced, which
Yes.
I know that is data center driven.
So it's we took the L40 and kind of turbocharged it. So it takes 50 extra watts, but we've increased its tensor processing capabilities. As a compute board for AI training and inference, exceeds with the performance of an A100.
Okay.
So, and especially if you're in a system where you're using multiple profiles and you want to do graphics enabled applications, like you want to run Omniverse, you want to run the Unreal Engine, and you need those graphics and libraries available, it's going to be the perfect card for that. So kind of like dual purpose, training, inference, graphics in a data center form factor, so you can do denser systems.
Okay, so they're kind of like a car to kind of do it all in a sense.
Kind of do it all, and high performance card.
High performance. Yeah. And then going into Omniverse, I know that's more of it's a collaborative type of software, so that way if people are remote, they can go through Omniverse and work on project as a collaboration. Mm-hmm. How do you see that working? I guess the L40S is ideal for that?
Yeah, especially when you start looking at, for us, Omniverse is a platform for development, and one of the main tenets is that collaboration between applications, and when you have collaboration between applications, you get collaboration between users.
Okay.
And so part of it is we don't want to reinvent the wheel. There's an ecosystem of amazing applications out there we want people to take advantage of, and so we're looking to connect those applications, and therefore connect those users, and we can do that in real time. Internally, we use Omniverse as a platform for building our demos and building out our technology so that we can showcase to the world and utilize it within our processes. So when we create a new piece of technology, like being able to use large language models to generate backgrounds or generate text, we can showcase it in Omniverse, and then that same technology could also be implemented by our partners in their applications.
Yeah, and I saw some of the examples that were used, which is great, is these big manufacturers who they will utilize Omniverse to create a digital twin of a factory, so then that way they can go in Omniverse, lay it all out, and then maybe just take it to the exec team and say, here's an exact replica, this is how it looks. And then with RTX, you can kind of do some ray tracing and everything in there, so that way before you break ground, you kind of see what you're getting into.
The core tenet of Omniverse is it's built on universal scene description, which is now open source, called OpenUSD. It's a data format that allows for expandability. So if you need to do certain customizations for what you're doing, great, but also it's got a large ecosystem. So a lot of the main application developers out there have adopted it as the file format going forward. And it's a very robust format, and it has a lot of legs going forward. So we've built everything that we're doing around it, whether it be for media entertainment or for manufacturing, robotics, it's all around USD.
Yeah, and that's exciting. Again, kind of just see the future where everything is going. I mean, even with just NVIDIA Omniverse and also just AI as a whole, that they're saying is the iPhone moment right now for us the iPhone moment is AI. So it's pretty interesting to see where it's going. And in terms of the keynote, it wasn't announced at the keynote, but after it, there was some other products announced through Siggraph, which I like to call the full stack now.
The full stack.
I remember we had the RTX 6000 ADA, and then recently launched the RTX 4000 SFF ADA. But now we have an RTX 5000, an RTX 4500, and an RTX 4000 to kind of fill in that middle. So where do you see that kind of helping in terms of just different markets and segments within the professional GPU?
Yeah, I think it's definitely not one size fits all. Some people, the applications that you're using will take advantage of all of that compute power, and some don't. you know, and so we want people to be, wise when you spend your money. For a lot of workloads on the high-end side, the 6000 is like the perfect card for a lot of those high-end virtual production, real-time animation, real-time pre-visualization, lighting and rendering pipelines. It's great for other workloads, in manufacturing and engineering, some, animation and modeling. You've got the 4500 and the 5000 have kind of like just the right memory and compute profile for that.
Yeah.
And then we've got a lot of people who, again, don't need quite that much power. The 4000 kind of fits that bill nicely. And the 4000 that was announced is different in form factor from the SFF, but also it goes from 70 to I think 130 watts or something. So it's a full powered 4000.
Nice.
So it's going to have a little more oomph to it.
Well, Rick, thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us and talk about all the exciting things at Siggraph and also the Keynote and some new products that are launched. We really appreciate it. And as always, we appreciate everything that NVIDIA does for PNY.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.